Okay, now to present the books for young people, the awards that we have tonight, we're pleased to have with us a good friend of ours whose work is known for its humor and great heart. Two-time Christopher Award-winning author Joan Bauer is here tonight. Just a few weeks ago, Joan received the St. Catherine Drexel Award of the Catholic Library Association for her body of work, which now includes 12 novels for young adults. The latest of those novels is called Tell Me, and it's about a 12-year-old girl who rallies the people in her small town to help free the human trafficking victims being held there. Excellent work, as always, Joan. Congratulations. Love to have your smiley face back here again. Please welcome now our Joan Bauer, ladies and gentlemen. Ta-da, ta-da! Fanfare.
Oh, it's always wonderful to be here. I think I might have presented 7 times, at least 6 times, but not nearly as many as you, Ernie.
Well, that's great. Congrats.
You know, when I think about the Christopher Awards, certainly I think about hope, and I think about heart. And whenever I think about heart, I think about a story that I heard many, many years ago when I was a child, and it stayed with me, and it was about one of the world's great high jumpers, and I don't remember his name. But this man just could jump over anything. There was no height that he couldn't manage to get over. And people asked him, how did you do this? How, again and again, are you able to throw yourself over these bars? And he said, oh, well, it's really quite simple. First, I throw my heart over the bar, and then the rest of me follows. And I remember my grandmother, who was a professional storyteller, and she always told me, this is where you aim when you're telling a story. You aim at the heart. That's the bullseye that you try to hit. And I never really knew, I think, what that meant, totally. Until several years ago, I spoke. One of the more important groups I ever spoke to in my life was in New York City. It was a group of 400 blind and handicapped 9th graders who would come to hear me talk about my books. I will confess to you that that had not been, prior to that time, my best 3 months. I was kind of down. There had been some difficult things happening in our family. I just wasn't there, you know what I mean? And I had my remarks all written out. And I remember there was a girl sitting in the back, and some of the kids took a little time to get to their seats. So I was talking to some of the kids, and there was a girl in a wheelchair way in the back. She said, so what are you going to talk to us about? I said, well, I'm going to talk about my books and storytelling and, never giving up and stuff like that. And she said, well, are you going to tell us any stories? And I said, well, I mean, yeah, I'll probably tell you some stories. And she said, well, are they good stories? And I thought, oh, I don't know. And I came up to the podium, and I thought, I'm going to fail 400 kids who need me not to fail. And my heart was just broken. I wanted to run out of there. And I started with my lame notes and my lame presentation, and I didn't have them. I didn't have me. I didn't want to listen to me. And then all of a sudden I realized I wasn't blind and I wasn't handicapped, but we had something in common. I'd been in a really tough car accident. I'd had neurosurgery. I didn't know if I was going to be able to write again, and so I stepped out from behind the podium and I started telling him. I said, I know what it's like to kind of give up. I know what it's like to be afraid and to try to find courage and all of that stuff. And then all of a sudden, yeah, I guess I did throw my heart over that bar. And enough of them decided to catch that, to help me understand that that's why we're here. That's what every Christopher Award winner has done. That's what you do. That's what you do every night. Ernie, that's what we're trying to do, is to throw our hearts over that bar again and again and again. Try to give people a piece of it. And you know, I think that's what it's about. There were people who got on that Amtrak train, and it didn't even occur to them they weren't going to get home. And sometimes I wonder, what was the last movie they saw? What was the last time they turned on TV? What did they see? What were the last words that somebody spoke to them? What were the books that they read as kids? And I just think again and again, we don't know how much time we've got with people. And so let's, really reach out with every bit that we've got and throw our hearts again and again over that bar. And hopefully people will grab hold of what we've got and we can really have a conversation. Thank you. And now on to our wonderful books for young readers. For preschool and up, I Forgive You. Is there a better title? By Nicole Lataif, illustrated by Kathy Betts, published by Pauline Books and Media. None of us get through life without needing to forgive others or apologize ourselves. So learning these virtues as children can give us a solid foundation for good relationships and inner peace. I Forgive You makes that learning process fun, while also touching on difficult topics like the weight of a grudge, being like an elephant in your heart, and the fact that forgiveness doesn't mean letting somebody walk all over you. As a primer on reconciliation, this book reminds kids, God loves you no matter what you do. He never says, I'm through with you. Boy, is that a good reminder to everybody. We are so pleased to have with us tonight author Nicole Lataif and illustrator Kathy Betts. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Katie Betts. Thank you. For kindergarten and up, Maddie's Fridge, by Lois Brandt, illustrated by Vin Vogel, published by Flashlight Press. Sophia's refrigerator at home is always filled with plenty of food. That's why she's surprised when she reaches into her friend Maddie's fridge for a snack and finds it virtually empty. Embarrassed by her family's poverty, Maddie asks Sophia to keep it a secret. But Sophia knows she needs to do something, and her comical attempts finally lead to a helpful solution. Based on an experience author Lois Brandt had as a child, Maddie's Fridge teaches kids to take a proactive approach when it comes to generosity and fighting childhood hunger. Please welcome author Lois Brandt and illustrator Vin Vogel. And for ages 6 and up, here's Hank. Bookmarks are people too. By Henry Winkler and Lynn Oliver, published by Grosset and Dunlap Penguin. Second grader Hank Zipser has got problems. For one thing, his healthy eating mom keeps feeding him things like soy lami and soy strami. In addition, he struggles with reading because the letters get jumbled in his head. And when Hank can't read the script for the class play, his teacher creates the part of a silent bookmark, especially for him. But Hank transforms himself into a bookmark with personality and becomes the comedic tour de force that steals the show. Inspired by co-author Henry Winkler's battle with dyslexia, Hank Zipser reminds kids with similar problems that they can be just as smart and successful as anybody else. Accepting for Henry Winkler and Lynn Oliver is the editor-in-chief at Penguin Young Readers, Early Readers, Grosset and Dunlap, Bonnie Bader. For ages 8 and up, Hope Springs by Eric Walters, illustrated by Eugenie Fernandez, published by Tundra Books, Random House. When Boniface, a young orphan living in Kenya, tries to collect water from a local spring, a villager threateningly tells him, "You are not from here. You must leave." Boniface's house parents explain that the drought-stricken villagers responded that way not out of meanness, but out of fear for their family's well-being. After understanding this, Boniface devises a solution that will benefit everyone. Based on author Eric Walters' experience at an orphanage he supports in Kenya, Hope Springs demonstrates the healing power of responding to anger with kindness. Accepting for author Eric Walters is the executive editor of Macmillan Children's Publishing Group, Wesley Adams. And for ages 10 and up, Eliza Bing is not a big, fat quitter. By Carmela Van Fleet, published by Holiday House. Gymnastics, tap dancing, piano lessons, 11-year-old Eliza Bing tried them all, but quit because her ADHD caused her to get bored fast. So when she wants to take an expensive cake decorating class, her parents say no. Eliza then aims to prove she can finish what she starts by taking the Taekwondo class that her brother dropped out of. The martial arts challenges her ability to concentrate and work through injury. But in the end, Eliza proves to others and to herself that she's not a big fat quitter and enjoys the self-esteem that accomplishment brings. Please welcome author Carmela Van Fleet, and joining her is the inspiration for Eliza Bing, her daughter, Abigail Van Fleet. And that completes the Books for Young People Awards. We recognize and applaud all of your dedication to young readers.
Congratulations to our winners. Congratulations to you, Joan. Love that spirit. You're like a little girl, you know what I mean? You're like, I love that. You know, really free heart, free soul. You know, there's a Greek philosopher who once said, "I have a wish to die young, but as late in life as possible." That's you. Good youthful heart. That's a good quote. Remember that one, right? I use that once in a while. Coming up next.